Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the week 39, September the 25th through October the 1st weekly wrap up. Okay, a little life stuff. Yeah, we finished, or we opened the season with Open Water 2 weekends ago. Then last weekend we were still kind of recovering. It was raining here, dealt with, the remnants of Ian coming up the East Coast and things like that. So it was like super wet, super just blah, just want to cuddle under the bed or just kind of burrow. That's the word I was looking for. In the bed and read and things like that, which I kind of did. And yeah, I got a piece of book mail, but I don't know what it is. It's from Barnes and Noble, I think. It's probably one of the books that I pre-ordered, what have you, and it came in. I don't know which one it is, and it's like over there, and I don't feel like getting up and getting it. Plus, I'm on limited time to get this out or get this recorded so that I can get it out. If you didn't know, there's going to be a whole slew of videos coming out for you guys. All of the re-releases of past video book reviews from last year or starting from last year up until this year when I started just doing them on the channel and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. I have scheduled pretty much all of October out. So that you guys are getting a video like every other day, if not every day in October. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, lots of content coming up. Lots. So let's get into the books that I did finish last week so I don't have to make this video super long. So I started off the week by finishing Dirty Mojito, which is Lunchtime Chronicles number 42 by Amaya Black. This is a new author for me. And I really enjoyed it. It's a interracial sports romance, giving it 4 stars, giving it 4 Steam fans. Had it as an ebook through KU. This is a Black author. This book follows Silver and Kelton. I hope I'm saying this right. Silver is a broadcast journalist. She's at her birthday bash when Kelton ends up walking in. He is this bad boy superstar football player. Yeah, football player. They had crushes on each other, but also a rivalry when they were kids, and now this is sort of a bully romance turned, adult romance when they're in their prime and things like that. And he's like, I never forgot you, and I really kind of want you. There are some plot things that were inserted into the story that didn't get resolved, so that's why we went with the rating that we went with. The next book that we finished, or that I finished, was Where We Found Our Home, which is Lost and Found number 1 by Natasha Bishop. This is another new author to me. She's been on my list for a while though. Super excited that I did finally read her. This is a romantic suspense, giving it 4.5 stars. And so on Goodreads, you're going to see that it's a 5-star book. It's actually only 4.5 stars. That half a star really, there's some things that ended up happening. I'll talk about them in a second. Giving it 3.5. Steam fans had this as an ebook. I purchased it. This is a Black author as well. There are content warnings for loads of pop culture references. Oh my goodness, that kind of dates the story. Yes, it gives us a good time reference of making it contemporary, but at the same time, the references are not some that may age well. Some may age well and be okay, but some, there may be different lenses on them in the future. So just never know. When you're adding pop culture references into books, it always seems to date the book, and yeah, it could throw future readers out of the story. Then we have we have a stalker that's within the book. that is very prevalent to the story that is in the story. Then we have a fire call, or a couple of fire calls that give imagery to a fire, what a fireman actually goes through on fire calls. So be warned of that if that is something that you know, bothers you or something like that. Then we have trauma from the past that is very much playing into what is going on in one of our characters' lives. There's grief, there is trust issues, and what else? I don't know what this other thing that, oh, that's another part of the note. Okay, so let's get into what this story is about. Sierra is a woman that has moved across the country to sort of save herself and to save her family. She has this stalker that has been, you know, stalking her since there was an incident with her during an accident. And he has threatened her family. He has come after her. The police is not very cooperative or understanding to her plight or anything like that. And that was really frustrating. But she moves across the country to this town in Texas where she ends up, even though she's trying to stay under the radar, her morals and her being just can't. She's gonna make friends. She's that type of person. So she ends up making friends with this coffee house owner and her daughter, and come to find out that coffee house owner has a brother whose name is Lincoln, who is a fireman, and they fight their attraction to each other because both of them have had trauma in their past and they are trying to deal with it, and grief and things like that they are working through. It was a good point that Sierra and Lincoln, well, I know Sierra has a therapist, but I'm not sure if Lincoln does or not. But that aspect is talked about within the story, so I appreciated that. But then this is where sort of the half star is lost and doesn't get gained back. We get introduced to the stalker very, 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 very early into the story. So there's this suspense to it, but at the same time, you kind of know who's doing it. So it was like, but it was this guy. So it's this guy. So why aren't we going to the police? Or, yes, I know in the past in a different city, you didn't have the support of law enforcement, but yeah. So, and then you finish the book off and things end up evolving and things like that. The stalker's arc isn't completed. There's no motivation whatsoever for, or explanation for his motivation. And I was like, I don't understand. So much of the story involved him. You gave him a voice within the story, but I don't understand his motivation. So yeah, that kind of just bothered me. Other than that, this story had me on the edge of my seat. I was rooting for Sierra. I was rooting for Lincoln. I can't wait to get to the next book in this series. And then there's another book that'll be coming out too. So yeah, I'm on board. I am on board. So that little half a star, I'm sure, will probably be earned in future books. This author has a new fan. I plan on reading more from this author. The next book that I finished was my Scorned Best Friend, which is Green Family number 7 by Piper Rayne, placing this in contemporary, giving it 4.25 stars, giving it, oh, I didn't give it any Steam fans in my book. Let's give it 3 Steam fans, because I think there's some sexy scenes, but not like over the top. It's just like, okay, meh. Listen to this as an audiobook. This is Best Friends to Lovers. What bothered me about this book is that we have been getting Xavier and Clara's story for the longest. So Xavier is the Green family's current football player. and he has made it to the big time. And his best friend Clara, who is the town librarian, had been supporting him in everything like that. And it was just like, okay, what is this thing that sort of happened between them? And then you find out what that thing is, and it was like, really? That's what you guys are calling your friendship off about? And then Xavier giving her permission to date one of his whatchamacallit, one of the players on his team, and also doing a sort of Cyrano Bergerac, the Roxanne thing going on, feeding the teammate information about Clara so that they would it was just a little annoying. And it all sort of boils down to the content warning for grief, for acceptance, and dealing with trust issues. Yeah. So there's that. The next book that I started actually is connected to the last book. I decided to pick up the Savage Bloodline anthology or collection. And the first book in that is a prequel called Brutal Bloodline. And this is written by Imre Allen. This is a Mafia anthology or collection, what have you, written by 16 or 17 Black authors. And I was like, oh, here for it. Yes, give me more. I've been in like a Mafia mood lately. So I jumped into this and was like, oh, yes. So this prequel is very, very short. I'm giving it 3.5 stars, 0 Steam fans. There's no Steam to it because this book is all about setting up what is going to be happening with the DeLuca family. It introduces us to it. It introduces us to the fact that there is a new Don, and that Don is Enzo. But we don't get Enzo's story until the last book of this collection. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna enjoy this. Yes, give me more. So then there's the Renee is a Black author, and there's content warnings for assassination, mob boss business, and things like that. But like I said, this is a prequel and a short little novella to introduce us to the DeLucas. So the first book in that collection is Santino. I almost got that wrong. Santino DeLuca, which is written by Kenya Wright. And we all know this mama loves some Kenya Wright. So I knew she was going to bring it. Mafia, again, we're going to give it 4.25 stars, giving it 4.25 Steam fans. Ebook through the anthology or collection, what have you. Black author. This is Santino's story. Santino is the West Coast mob boss for the DeLuca family, and he is sent by Enzo to this town called, what is it? The town? I can't remember what the town is called. But Kashmir is the new town, is the new boss of the Killer Crows, which there's 3 different gangs that are running this town. And Santino is sent in to marry Kashmir. This is the deal that they have brokered and things like that. The way that Santino meets Kashmir, their first meet cute, if you want to call it that, was just chef's kiss. Kenya Wright, like, just goodness, such goodness. I love that Kenya writes her female mob bosses and gang bosses or just badass female characters. Love. It got knocked down because of some of the like massively sexualized things that went on. I wasn't a fan of it. There is content warnings for assassination attempts, generational trauma, for a correlation or connection to the real life true crime story of Lake Lanier, and many other Black communities that have been not even just gentrified, but destroyed and burned to the ground and covered up by white supremacy. So there's all that's in there. Whew. It's a little heavy, but at the same time, the way Santino and Cashmere worked, I was just like, yes, I forgive that. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Then the final book that I read last week was Gabbriello DeLuca, which is the second book in this collection, written by Sage Young. This is Mafia romance. Giving it 4 stars, giving it three Steam fans. Had it as an ebook, third book in this collection, Black author. There's a lot going on with this book. So we have Gabbriello. This was the first book. So, little backstory. You can't get the collection anymore, the books all together. You can't get that big bundle anymore. You have to go through KU to read each individual book, and they can be read in any order. I'm finding that I am enjoying the collection version of the stories more than I am the individual books, but also at the same time, the individual books, some of them have more information and changed up storylines and things like that, and this happens to be one of them. I pulled this book out of Gabbriello DeLuca from the KU library so that I could read along with the collection that is also in my library, right? And come to find out, there has been more added to the story. I think I was on like chapter 6, chapter 4 in the collection, but in Gabbriello DeLuca's book, when I searched for the part that I was on, I was actually in chapter 6. So there was like a big difference, and I was like, what is going on, and why? And there was no warning whatsoever. Nothing like, oh, this was involved in this collection, but this singular book, this individual book, is very different than that. Things have been reworked, or things have been added, things have been changed to make the flow better. No warning. No warning whatsoever. And I was just like, that did not make me happy. Overall, I did not feel, and maybe that's because I I read the collection and did not read the KU version, and I only used it for tracking purposes. Didn't find that there was a connection between Enzo, the family that I had been introduced to, the DeLucas, and Gabbriello. I was like, where's the connection? Why are we worried about him? Where's the connection? Like, seriously, where's the connection? So that kind of threw me off. And now I just have to be very, I kind of have to follow along with both versions to make sure that I get all of the information for all of the stories. So what am I currently reading? I am currently reading A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. Love Sierra. Then I'm also reading Gianni DeLuca by Ty Love. And I'm also reading Forbidden by Queen Beverly Jenkins. Yes. So there is that. I'm sure I'll be reading more books throughout the rest of this week because I have some things coming in the pipeline. Some I can't talk about, some that I get to talk about after I finish them. So I'm super excited. Like I said, If you are interested in my last year's book reviews, they will be releasing. This month has already been scheduled out, so they'll be releasing on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And that leaves Tuesdays and Thursdays for, and also Fridays. But anyways, Tuesdays and Thursdays for these reviews, for the weekly reviews, the current weekly reviews. And Thursdays will either be a let me introduce you interview, they are back, or something fun. I don't know, haven't really decided yet. Or it may just be a break in the days, but you guys are going to be getting loads of content, so I hope that you're interested in those old videos and things like that. I'm not doing any editing to them. I am just re-releasing them, so please don't take any of the opinions to heart, I guess you could say, because whatever was said in them was said to my Patreon when I released them to them, and that's how I was feeling in the moment. So other than that, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. My author interest form and my author suggestion form is also down there for the Let Me Introduce You series. Give those to me, please. Please. Let me know who I need to reach out to and try and get interviews for, because they have been so much fun. And I'm loving introducing you guys to authors that I have found just recently. So there's that. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in another video.